Morning, everybody.
Good morning, Rabbi.
This week's parsha is Parshas Beshalach, and this week's parsha talks about how the Jewish people left Egypt, and eventually how a couple days later, Pharaoh started to chase them, and they end up by the sea, and then comes the story of the splitting of the sea, how the Jewish people go through, the Egyptians follow into the sea. And what happens is, once the Jews get out on the other side, the sea covers the Egyptians, and then the sea spits out the Egyptians. So the Jews should realize and accept the reality that they're actually they're gone. They couldn't accept it. It was still scary for them. And when the sea spit out the Egyptians, it also spit out all the gold and silver. They came decorated with their horses, and it's brought down to the gold and silver and the jewels and whatever it was that they had by the yam, by the water, was more than what they took out when they went out of Egypt. What did they take out when they went out of Egypt? That's more. So it says in last week's parsha, it's brought down that God told Moshe to beg the Jewish people, beg them. The Yishalu Ishmereu, they should ask, they should borrow from the Egyptians gold and silver and jewelry. Why? Because I promised Abraham that they will serve a foreign nation. V'achar kain, afterwards, yetzu berchush godol, go out with a lot of riches. I have to fulfill my promise. The Jewish people were not interested. They were not interested. And one of the explanations to that is, if you tell somebody that's sitting in jail for X amount of years, listen, we're going to release you in a month's time, and you're going to get $100,000, or whatever you're going to get. So some people, if it's so bad, they'll say, I don't want the money. Let me get out now. Let me get out now. Just forget about the money. The Jewish people were not interested in the money. They were interested in getting out. So what do I need this? So they did it because God told them, Moshe told them in the name of God. So they went, they did it. And the Egyptians gave them. When the Jewish people experienced the splitting of the sea, and they saw the Egyptians outside spit out, they were washed up to the riverbank, and with all the gold and silver and jewelry and whatever it was that was there, they were stuck there gathering the jewelry, gathering the money. It says that by Yasa Moshe had to schlep them away, had to pull them away from the sea. So the Lubavitcher Rebbe asks a question. He says, I don't understand. When they were leaving Egypt, they didn't want it. Now, after they left Egypt and they saw the splitting of the sea, they saw such a revelation, such a manifestation of God's glory, such an experience of a miracle upon miracles, that you were illuminated, your eyes, you came to experience a connection, a closeness to God, that it says that what a simple person saw by the sea, the great prophets didn't have that type of experience with their prophecy. So you can imagine what level the Jews were elevated to. After that, they're schlepping gold and silver. That's when they're coming, they're lowering themselves down to pull the money out of from the... What's going on over here? What's the explanation? So in short, the explanation is that they did not want to take the money originally because they didn't want to be stuck in this environment of Egypt. They wanted to leave Egypt and everything of it that represents Egypt behind them. They didn't want to get stuck in any type of shape or form with any connection to Egypt. Not their money, not their gold. We're not interested. We see the negative side of Egypt. We do not want to associate in any way, whatsoever shape or form with Egypt. Once they went and they experienced the splitting of the sea, and they saw God in a whole new level, they realized and they recognized the opportunity that they have with every object that's in this world. And just to give a short explanation, if you think about it, just one point, there are 4 elements to creation. There's doimim, tzemeach, chayim, medaber. Inanimate things, the world of vegetation, the world of animals, and the human being. We are the most sensitive. We need more than any of them. The fruits and vegetables just need water. The animals, they need a little more, another couple things, but still not so complicated. When it comes to human being, we are very complicated. As a kid, we need to be taught how to do everything, mentally, physically, emotionally, and then we have to figure out how to make a living. The animals don't have to learn how to make a living. They don't have to get all these things. They don't need to wear coats. They don't need to wear clothing. Everything else is a whole process. It's a whole process from day one to the last day of our lives. There's so much going on. Why? Why is there so much going on with the human? Why did Hashem create it that way? Because every interaction that we have, we can elevate. We can make a change in this world. Based on Chassidus, with Olam, Tikkun, and Toh, it's a whole topic for itself. But there is a lot going on over here. There's a lot going on with the human being that we have to do. And when we go through this process, and we do it properly, we are elevating this world, we're making this world a better place, we're bringing in godliness into this world. So when the Jewish people saw the splitting of the sea, they realized they can do it. They saw the opportunity. They saw what's waiting for them. So then they were all in. They were all in and said, listen, we could do stuff. And this is a lesson for us. Anything you have, any position you have, any situation you find yourself, there is something going on that you have to do. If you have money, you have to use that money properly. If you have power, you have to use that power properly. If you have an effect on somebody that you can affect somebody, you have to utilize it. Don't let it go. There are opportunities there that Hashem gives every single one of us. You lose something, it's because you don't need it anymore. You find something, it's because you need to do something with it. You finish with something, you move on to the next thing. There is a process of everything that we do, we handle, and we touch. So Hashem should help. We should recognize that. We should utilize it. We should elevate it. And we should be blessed. We should be blessed with the coming of Mashiach, B'Karav Mamish. Amen.